Alright, this is Donald LeCourt here and Carlos Maury. We've got a little financial application, D-list accounting, and we're going to get started on it. First thing we've got is the balance sheet. User would go by all their general ledgers numbers for the year and input them accordingly. All the pre-existing numbers were loaded from a SQL database. All right. After all the numbers are entered, go down to calculate, and there they are presented. If for some reason the user needed to input their own numbers or just work their own calculations, you get system calculator and it brings up the calculator for them. But all the balance sheet formulas are hard coded in there. So next we've got income statements. Same thing, the user is going to have all these numbers already in their ledger sheets. And they're there. This, again, the numbers you saw at the beginning were hard-coded to the SQL database. We've got our statements of cash flows. Alright, go down, calculate, and then all the numbers are there. It shows kind of what happened between their first year and the second year. And now I'm going to turn it over to Carlos, and he's going to talk about his half of the.
All right. Like I say, my name's Carlos. I'm going to talk to you about the portion of the program that I took from a company-like approach. First, we're going to start off with the company list. Company list also pulled a few random figures from our SQL database that we had pre-saved. Right now, I'm going to add some more figures, and of course, if I don't change the ID, it will throw an exception error. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to change the ID to 1, type in my name and CEO of Microsoft, which I'm going to own it sometime in the future. I don't know when, I don't know where, I might not own it. Probably when I'm dead I'm going to own it, but I'm going to own it. And put in my current address and the budget of, let's say, roughly 6 billion. Good budget. And I can save that, and as you see, it'll bring the original number up, and if I were to click next, it will bring up my information. I can also enter in another figure with the ID of 2, and I can say, let's say Steve Jobs, and of course he owns Apple. And somewhere we're gonna say Mac City, and he has a $10 billion budget. And that data can also be saved, and as you see, you can maneuver between each of the numbers. And that's pretty much the gist of the company list. All this data can be deleted as well. Budget cuts pulls from that same company list. Those two are correlated. You can see the budget of each company owner. And what I have right here is the budget cut type of thing because of the idea came from the recession that we're in right now. So what this does is basically subtracts the salary of the CEO, the salary of the employees, and it will bring what is left over. So if I were to say with this company, the only budget is just 3,000. Say 1,000 goes to CEO and 1,300 goes to the other employees. Leaves you with salary of leaves you with $931 left over. Now let's move on to a company like mine, which has a bigger budget, and we can change those numbers. Say the CEO salary, he gets paid 100,000 a year, and the other employee salary, we can say the other employee's salary probably totals up to 5 million a year. Still left behind with a pretty hefty sum of money. Yes, my company is real big. And we can also go to Apple and do the same thing. Let's make a real big salary right there and another big one. And he's still left with a hefty sum of money. And these are the gist of our budget cuts and company list. And also what we have here is the return on equity. Return on equity is basically a percentage type of thing that also tied in with balance sheet, income statement, and statement of cash flows. And the profit margin is usually a percent. So for something like 10%, I can do 0.1. And turnover rates are also just numbers, and we can just type in any one of those random numbers, and it will spit out a percent to us, which as you see, if anything is typed in return to equities box, that percent needs to be changed. And the turnover rate can also be changed to recalculate that percentage, just to get it back down to a decent number. Right here, if turnover, because each of these boxes multiply towards each other, so that is basically a small return on equity calculation. And that pretty much concludes our program. The reason that we chose to do this because we wanted to create an accountancy form, and also to maintain company lists and company records. Also, the database that we chose was a database of Microsoft SQL using the SQL file. And any questions and or comments can be posted on YouTube, can be posted in the directions that Mr. Wee gives. And our sincere apologies for having to go through this, but please submit those comments because you do get 10 points. Alright? That concludes our presentation. Thank you.